once again for coming back for this week's edition of the Horror Debate. Once again, we're digging into the new 8 films to die for, the After Dark Horrorfest. And
3.
This time, I'm excited about it, Mike. I'm Jeff Rowdy Jake here. He's Michael Mandy. And here we are, second film, Slaughter.
Directed by Stuart Hopewell and starring Amy Shields and Lucy Holt.
All right.
Yay, this is a film
We don't know any of these folks.
No, we don't. But you know what? I'm sure this movie will be showing up on the Lifetime channel sometime next year.
Wow, okay, so I popped this one in, and I'm not sure I'm watching a horror film at first.
Or second.
I didn't know what was going on at
Or
first.
third.
It took like a little while to get going. What are we dealing with on this one?
A little while. Gosh, I was still looking at my watch at the 1 hour mark going,
What are we dealing with, Mike? This one's tricky. This one's tricky. It's going to catch you by surprise. Go ahead.
We're dealing with a girl who is leaving her an abusive relationship, and she's hiding from her psycho boyfriend, and so she moves to Atlanta, and and her friend drives her there, and they go out to this bar, and she meets another lady, and they strike up a friendship. So this movie is about the relationship between these two girls and how the one girl was abused by her father and this girl's abused by her boyfriend, and they have a bond together and they room together and they do all sorts of nice girl things together.
Oh, Mikey, you make it sound so simple when it's so not. Okay, so basically what you got these two good-looking chicks, first of all, right?
Yeah.
And the one girl, you said she moves to another city, and she's trying to get away from her psycho boyfriend who keeps calling her, and he somehow gets her number no matter where she's at, right?
Yep.
But she thought it was telemarketers, but it was actually her boyfriend. You know, I got the same problem, not with my boyfriend, though. But anyway, she moves to this new apartment, and she decides, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to go to a club. She goes out to the club. She's sitting at the bar all alone, kind of forlorn, because her
friend is out dancing, having a good time.
her friend's out dancing her butt off, right? So she's sitting at the bar. She's kind of like, I'm not in the mood. And she turns over her left shoulder, and she sees this other chick who's sitting there being harassed by this dude who probably reminds her a lot of her own ex-boyfriend, right?
Right, so she goes over and kind of rescues her.
Exactly.
Hey, I haven't seen you. Why didn't you call? You stink. Come on over here.
Right. So what ends up happening is they form a little bit of a bond immediately, and she leaves her phone number, the girl that got rescued, leaves her phone number with her to give her a call, right?
Right.
Well, it turns out that, of course, she's new in town. She's going to want to give somebody a call, go hang out. This other chick's got to go back to her where she lives, right? She can't stay in this new city forever with her. So she wants to hit up a friendship with this girl. And so she gives her a call, and she happens to live out in the middle of freaking nowhere on this farm.
Yeah, big farm on the outskirts of Atlanta.
Right.
I haven't been to Atlanta, so maybe there are big farms
There
out
probably are. And so anyway,
on this farm is a slaughterhouse.
Well, it's a slaughterhouse that her father runs, right, with her brother.
Yep.
Okay. And the place is creepy. It's kind of weird, but and the father doesn't give any kind of like friendly vibe at all. He won't even talk. Right?
Well, the movie starts out showing the father kicking a body into the water.
Yeah,
off
so
of
you're
the pier.
thinking he's the evil one. See, and you know what? That's why they did that, Mike.
Right.
Foreshadowing, right? So anyway, the deal is this. She goes out to the farm. She's hanging out with the chick.
Faith is the good girl.
You got to have faith. Somebody said that once. Oh, it was George Michael. That's right. Okay, anyway.
I was just waiting for you to
You got to
sing
have
it.
faith. Anyway, so does, what's his face? Faith Hill. Yeah.
Tim McGraw.
Yeah, that's right. He's got to have faith, too. Anyway, she goes out and visits Lola, and they go hang out, and she's staying kind of with her.
Wow, dude, I was expecting you to sing on that one, too. Did you sleep enough last night?
No, I didn't, as a matter of fact.
You're just letting these go past.
So I'm trying to get to the crux of the story here. I'm trying to lead people up to it, right? So she's staying with Lola.
I bet the people are just as bored as I am right now.
She's staying with Lola, and these guys that she's bringing home are disappearing.
But they're leaving real expensive gifts.
They're leaving real expensive gifts and cars.
Yeah.
Okay, they're parked out in front of the farm. So...
Well, the car's gone in the morning.
Well, true, but they're not. And you're thinking, oh, this dad is just like,
offing them.
Yeah, And that's where I'm going to leave it, because I'm not going to go any further, because you're going to figure this whole thing out. But this took a long time to get into where I wanted to care. Okay? By the end, I thought it was pretty good overall. But the problem is that it takes so long to get there that I found myself wanting to snore.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're right. At about 45 minutes to an hour, I was wondering if it was ever going to get started.
Yep.
Okay? But it did. And once it did, it had a whole lot of real decent elements to it.
So basically, this movie should have been a half an hour.
No, because, it's kind of like a hybrid deal. I thought the director did kind of a good thing in a way of leading you up where you're kind of like, okay, I know something's going to happen, but I don't know when it's going to happen. We're already like 50 minutes into this deal.
And so far, nothing's happened.
Something's got to go, and so the last half hour was pretty spectacular. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Was this movie to die for?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's to die for. I thought it was very good. I thought by the time it was over, it all came together in a nice little package, and you didn't really care about that first 45 minutes to an hour that was slow. And it made it make sense, and it made it in a nice little package for you, which I thought was directed and written pretty well. It just, when you're sitting there, and especially after you're watching the first film we watched, Perkins, and you're expecting stuff to really start kicking ass immediately, and it doesn't. Then you're like, okay, now I'm in for
Perkins did not
if they
kick
all
ass
did that,
immediately.
Mike,
Perkins did not kiss ass.
But Mike, if they all did that, if they all started kicking ass 15 minutes into the film, there wouldn't be anything to set it apart. This is the dynamics of what they're trying to do with these 8 films. They're trying to give you different looks at it. Okay, so, and for that, this is valid. Okay, and I actually liked the film. I started to trash it a little bit. I was about 45, 50 minutes in, and I'm starting to look around the room going, okay, can we do something here? But once it kicked, if you got patience, which I don't, but if you have patience and you can get through it, I think you're gonna dig this film in the end. Mike, see, he doesn't have no patience either, but he's seeing it from the other perspective of, I wasted 45 minutes of my life, but that's not what I got out of it. Anyway, go ahead, Mike.
I wasted 45 minutes of my life. That's what I got out of it.
All right. So, well, go ahead. Wax poetic on this thing, because there's a lot to talk about here. This is kind of a little bit of a complex deal.
It is?
It is. Because when you're watching
I didn't feel it was that complex.
Well, yeah, you're just trying to show off. But it is a little bit complex. It's a lot more complex than, let's say, like a slasher type film.
No, it's not a slasher film.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the writing is more complex. You have deeper characters. You know generally more about the characters in a film like this because it leads up as a drama. And then when it kicks into the horror film part of it...
you learned more about the brother, the creepy brother?
You didn't know anything. Nobody said anything about the creepy brother.
Exactly. Or the kid, or...
But I'm talking about the people that matter, Mike.
Okay.
I cut to the crux. I don't play around, okay?
The two main
people
chicks.
that matter, the 2 women, okay? And even the boyfriend, because you got enough of him, just in phone calls, right? And tell me those 2 women didn't play those parts well. Tell me they didn't get the emotion across. They did. And they did even before the horror movie really even kicked in.
Actually, I thought Lucy Holt's character was kind of... she picked up at the end. Let me put it that way. Her character picked up at the end. At the beginning, I'm
not talking about pacing.
I wasn't buying.
I'm talking about, did you feel like you knew kind of what that chick was about?
I guess.
You did. And the reason you did was
because... Well, at the end of the movie, I did.
No, but the reason you did was because... No, not even at the end of the movie. Just in the first 45 minutes, let's say. You knew more about those 2 women than you would in your standard horror film. They were written more complex. They had more facets to their emotions, more facets to their personality, and you thought you knew who they were. That's what I got out of it. Okay? Now, if you're sitting there just looking at their butt, you're not going to get that.
Actually, Amy Shields was filling out that Cozumel shirt.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? But if that's what you're looking for, that's, you're not going to get that. But if you're reading into the characters, you felt like you knew who these people were.
This is a serious Lifetime type film drama.
It's not.
This will be on Lifetime.
It's not. It's never going to be on Lifetime because once it kicks in, it is full-fledged horror. It's full-fledged in your face. And I'm telling you, if you're scared of the dentist, don't play with this film, okay? Because there's some scenes in here that make Corbin Burnsen's dentist look like, story time, okay? This is some intense stuff. But Mike, you
story time. You mean that Adam Sandler film?
You're sitting there with that perplexed look on your face.
You mean that Adam Sandler film, Bedtime Stories?
No,
not story time.
No, you get that look on your face when you have no idea what I'm talking about. Did you watch this film?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you feel like the characters were more drawn in a story sense than in your standard horror film?
I guess.
Are you awake?
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna have to pop. I'm gonna go through the studio B and pop this guy. I'm telling
Yes,
you.
I am. It's just I thought it was a very draggy, slow.
It did drag.
Boring
It was
film.
It was slow, but once it got going, that 45 minutes that I invested on the couch made sense to me, and I didn't mind spending
it's a 90-minute film, but the thing is, the film didn't kick in. You're saying 45? No, it was more like the 75-minute mark.
No, Mikey, that all didn't happen in 20 minutes. Are you high?
It did.
No, you're sitting around with the roach clip too long, Mike. It did not all happen in 20 minutes.
Okay.
There was at least it really started to get nasty at around the 50 to 55 minute mark.
It didn't really get that nasty.
It got nasty enough. I mean, you're okay, let me put it to you a different way. You're lulled into a sense of, I know who these people are. The pacing is slow. You're lulled into this contentment, and then all of a sudden, bam! Right in your face, stuff starts to go wrong. And these characters are playing it so well, and you feel like you know them so well, and you're invested in them a little bit, that it's like, wow. Talk about like the big switch here. That's what I'm talking about. That's what made it effective. It's like dynamics in music. It's something you can relate to, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, you build it up slow, you go to a crescendo, you come back down. You when you're building a set list, you don't start with your ballad. Well, you do. But you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
You start with something crunchy, then you go into like a ballad type thing. It's all dynamics. That's what this movie was. That's what made this movie work. If it would not have had that ending, Mike, it would have gotten a 1 star. If it would have not have ended the way it did and had all that in the last, like you said, 20 minutes, whatever, more like 30, 35, if that would not have happened, this would have been a 1-star film.
And then again at the ending, the characters make the stupidest, most retarded moves just so they can have the ending that they wanted.
Yes. Now
That was retarded.
There was one part at the very end which I'm not going to talk about, but I literally jumped off the couch and said, "What are you doing?" Yes. And actually, there was 2 or 3 times I did that. And no, I'm serious. I got up off the couch. I'm not kidding you. I mean, I'm like, oh, come on, Yes, there are bad parts in this film. It's not a perfect film. But what I'm saying is that I thought...
But you know what? That's not a fault of the filmmaker. It's a fault of the writer.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But you know what? I don't want to say it's a fault of the writer because that's the ending the writer was aiming at.
Well, and it's the beginning he was aiming at, and it's the build-up he was aiming at, and it's the release that he was aiming at, and you know what I mean? So it all kind of works. The only problem is like I said, there are parts, in order to keep the story developing according to the writer, that you roll your eyes at, and you go, oh, come on. That you don't want that to happen. So,
and then based on a true story.
Based on true events.
True events, which means there are pigs in a slaughterhouse somewhere across the country.
In Atlanta somewhere. That's right. So, yeah, not a perfect film, but I thought overall, this thing was pieced together pretty well. And I enjoyed it more than I certainly would in other respects. Like, say, for instance, another film that we reviewed not too long ago. I can't remember what it was, but it was slow building up. And I panned it because the end did not give me a reason to sit for 45 minutes, through all the dreck. But now...
I think that was a couple of those 8 films to
it may have been
in the last...
It may have been. But this film, when it's over and you're sitting there with the black screen and the credits start to roll, if you think about it, you're like, I kind of felt that. It moved me a little bit.
The music was very effective at the ending.
Oh, the sound effects were unreal, dude. All the pigs and stuff in my 7.1, it was unbelievable, man.
That wasn't the movie. That was all the animals in your house. This guy has got like 400 different kinds of breeds of animals.
And they all get along. Except for when Mike comes over. Then they all want to bite him.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is it.
All right, how many stars?
I liked it enough, and that's good, because if there was going to be a film I was a little worried about, the 2 chicks, the relationship deal, I'm like, I might be panning this one. I'm not panning it. I dug it. I dug it enough to give it 3. And I'll tell you why, real quick. Overall, story worked. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. Ending was superb. The foreshadowing was good. Everything worked except for the fact that in the writing, somewhere along the line, they said, we need 10 more minutes of film. Let's make this character go stupid. Mm-hmm. And let's make him make moves that nobody in their right mind would have made. Nobody. You know what I mean? And that's frustrating. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. So that's saying something. So I'm giving it 3.
All right. I'm giving it 1.
Okay.
I just was incredibly bored. And let's just say with a title like Slaughter, I expected a little more.
You expected Dana Strum to come out and do a bass solo. It's not what it's going to do. It's going to be something different. Like I said, that's the whole point of these 8 films, I think, is that they're giving you all these different looks at horror.
And they didn't even show you the pigs getting slaughtered.
Well, I didn't want to see the pigs get slaughtered. I'd rather see humans get slaughtered than innocent pigs.
You don't see that either.
Well, that's true. They cut away a lot.
Yeah.
They cut away a lot. And it's too bad
I'm sorry,
because...
the goriest thing in this movie really was just watching her get her belly button pierced.
Yeah. No, that didn't affect me nearly as much as the tooth.
But they cut away from it.
Oh, hell no. I was like, No, I didn't put in the dentist. I don't need to see.
See, you were covering your eyes, and that's
No,
why
I
you
didn't
didn't
cover my
realize
eyes.
they
I just
didn't
like
see it.
I don't want to see it. I stuff like that just But okay, so you're giving it 1 because you were bored.
Yes.
And because
the foreshadowing was great, but the problem was by the end I didn't care.
and it didn't move you.
It didn't move.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We'll talk to you when we review another of the 8 films to die for next week at the Horror Debate.